Hey, welcome back down here in the dungeon. Edgy Tim here. Dark Side investment. Not bad, huh? We'll see how I do the rest of the rounds. But hey, welcome back. Class 7A. Going to break it down for you. Second round action. You ready? Here we go. Cary Grove at St. Charles North. Look, I said this at the beginning of the pairings, the beginning of the playoffs, the moment the pairings came out. I like Cary Grove in this side of the bracket. I still do. St. Charles North, a solid team, been battle-tested. 2 losses, both to Geneva and Batavia. Again, no shame in that. Bottom line is, I just think Cary Grove's got a whole lot going on here. To me, it's going to be kind of a difficult matchup, I think, for St. Charles North here. I like the Trojans to advance. Hononegah taking on Geneva, and again, I think this is a big, tall task for Hononegah defensively to really match up against Geneva. First of all, Geneva has considerable size on the offensive line, very good quarterback, very good skills. I just think it's a lot to ask Hononegah to defend a team that really has a lot to offer. Now, on the flip side, the last time I saw Geneva, a lot of turnovers. So again, Geneva's got to cut those down. Got to play clean football here, but if Geneva does, I tell you what, if you're looking for a sleeper team to maybe come after Cary Grove a little bit on this side of the bracket, to me it could definitely be the Geneva Vikings. Now, Fenwick at Carmel, and how interesting is this game on so many levels. First of all, Fenwick beat this team in week 1, a non-conference game. Now you have the whole scenario of Jack Beneventi, who transferred from Bennett to Fenwick, was a starting quarterback for the Friars, was benched last week. Friars decided to go another way into the playoffs. Offensively, they get the win. Again, just a lot of intrigue in this ball game, but you know, I think the key going in, and it's the key anytime you play Carmel Mundelein, Fenwick has to slow down the run and figure out the veer. And if the Friars can do that and hopefully, you know, force a couple of turnovers and field position type of game, I think Fenwick has a great shot here. But again, Carmel, very tough offensively to figure out, to slow down and to eventually stop. And of course, Addison Trail at Libertyville. What a great story in Addison Trail this year. It really is. I mean, when Mike Barzik went down, their starting quarterback with an injury, I honestly, and I think a lot of others said, well, it's over. Hey, all they've done is won 3 games since he's been injured. And, you know, defensively doesn't surprise me as much because I saw this team defensively against Downers South. Very good defensive unit here. So the defense should keep them in the ball game against a very good Libertyville team. I mean, I think the key for Addison Trail here is you gotta find Riley Leeds. I mean, he is the workhorse, the big playmaker. He does a whole lot of offense for the Naughty Kitties over in Libertyville. So again, very intriguing game. If I had to pick one there, I would say Libertyville. But again, Addison Trail wouldn't surprise me whatsoever. Now, South bracket is 7-8 Providence at St. Rita. Here we go again. To me, the question mark is number 1. Is Boykin going to be back? Is Warfield going to be back? I'm hearing yes. They've been out hurt the last few weeks. Should be back this week. Can St. Rita defend that passing game? And, you know, Richie Warfield had a pretty good game, too, as well against Rita the last time these two played. If I'm St. Rita, I have to throw the ball this week. That's all there is to it. You want to run, but you've got to test that Providence secondary, and that's kind of been the Achilles heel of the Celtics this year. Defensively, there's been some issues, so we'll see. Again, just a great ball game. Could go either way. I mean, second time around, very difficult to do against certainly a very good St. Rita team. Providence beat them the first time, always harder the second time around. Normal Community at Wheaton South. I mean, no, not dissing my friends down in Normal Community, but if you're Wheaton South, this is a tremendous pairing. You know, Normal Community gave up almost 300 yards of rushing against Plainfield North in the first half. Came from behind, held on for the win. If Wheaton South can establish any kind of running game, I think they come away with the win in advance. And then, of course, Revis at Lincoln Way East. And again, Tim Zazada, head coach at Revis. Doesn't surprise me at all. This guy has turned around programs everywhere he's gone, and everywhere he's gone, they have won games. So a huge accomplishment for Revis. Unfortunately for Tim and the Rams, I think the road ends here this week against Lincoln Way East. Griffin's is way too tough here, I think, for the Rams. Now, finally, Mount Carmel on the road at Belleville West. You got to feel good if you're Mount Carmel. I mean, yes, you're going to have to go on the road. You're going to play a Belleville West team that, you know, Sharon Boyd is a very, very good quarterback. Great kicking game in Austin Siebert, but bottom line is I don't know how well Belleville West can do defending the Mount Carmel Veer. I think it's a lot to ask. You don't play against that offense very often. It's going to be a tall task. So I think the Caravan wins, gets the win on the road, and comes back home. So, again, kind of my take in Class 7A. Should be an interesting week, too, and we'll talk to you next week. See ya.